I'm coming on today to talk about food and how it has been a huge factor, I think, in my skincare and everything else. So if you jump on, say hey, let me know where you're watching from. I want to talk today. First I want to say, it's still really, I take 5 minutes to psych myself up to get on here. It makes me nervous talking to a big open audience. So I want to thank you guys for joining me and having patience with all of my ums and everything like that. Hey Mike, what's up? Hopefully you talked to Jamie. I sent you guys a message. I'm excited. Alright, so I'm coming on today to talk about food. And it's another thing that is kind of hard for me to talk about because I feel like I've made a lot of changes in my food habits, and I feel like a lot of times, I don't know, I feel like people think maybe I'm a food snob or I'm judging people for what they eat. And so I just want to say, I'm not judging anybody's food choices. You have to do what works for you. And so I just want to talk about what kind of things have helped me specifically with my skin. So say hey when you guys get on. Let me know where you're watching from, what the weather's like, that you can hear me okay. I came downstairs to get closer to my connection, so hopefully we won't have any interruptions or anything like that. So first I wanted to talk about a long time ago, well, it feels like a long time ago for me. I gave up greasy foods like pizza and fried foods, specifically stuff that's messy and would affect me just by touch, by being on my face. Whenever you eat pizza and everything you touch is shiny and covered in grease, that definitely does not help my skin. So I tried to give up that kind of stuff first for that reason and other reasons. Hey Shay, weather is nice here, awesome. I think we're I love this time of year. It's perfect outside. I almost sat outside to do this, but I didn't really have anywhere to prop my computer up, so I didn't. But anyway, so definitely the first thing that you can do if you're trying to clear up your skin is cut back on greasy foods, fried foods and things like that. Not only will they affect your skin, promote health all over, I guess. Another thing that I'm not coming on here today to talk about specific foods that you should be eating, because you can go on Pinterest or go on Google and search healthy skin, clear skin promoting foods, and you can get all kinds of ideas. And I've done that. I've tried different things. I think that's kind of important for, you can try different theories and stuff like that. But it's really going to vary by each person, I feel like. So, there are certain ones like leafy greens and lots of healthy fats that I do feel like have helped me. Can birth control affect skin and weight? Yes, I definitely think so. I am actually on the NuvaRing. So I was going to talk more about this a little bit later, but I do think that does have an effect. I know when I was in high school, I think it was when I was in high school, I started the pill pretty early, specifically for that reason, because I was trying to clear up my skin. So yeah, I do think that has an effect. And again, I think that's going to vary by person. So you would have to talk to your doctor and kind of maybe try different things, and see how those kind of things affect you. So I wanted to talk about, I've been doing a few different elimination diets, because beyond just picking foods that are good for my skin, I feel like there has been something that has specifically been causing issues. So I've been really trying to pinpoint that. I started reading this book, It Starts With Food, which I definitely recommend. I haven't gotten all the way through it, but it's very interesting to read the science behind how different foods affect us, and especially like there's a lot on like inflammation, and inflammation is actually I have very greasy skin, lots of acne, and gained 35 pounds on the scalp. IUD. I don't know much about IUDs. Honestly, they kind of scare me, so I haven't done any IUDs. But I would definitely talk to your doctor if you think that that's causing it, if you didn't have those issues before, because I know there's lots of options. I really honestly hate birth control. I feel like I just kind of picked the lesser evil of them for me. So I would definitely talk to your doctor if you think that's causing that. What was I saying? Oh, inflammation. So inflammation is a big factor, I think, in acne. And the thing about it is it can cause other health issues like heart disease and all kinds of things that I'm not going to get into. I'm not a doctor or an expert on any of those things, but I do think I think it's interesting, and I think that acne can be a more noticeable sign of other things that can be going on in your body. Because there's, like, the book talks a lot about a lot of like silent factors, I guess you could say, silent symptoms. So, you know, food affects us in more ways than we can see, I feel like. And when you start eliminating things, you can tell more when you start putting things back in, how they make you feel and how they affect you. You know, like some things could cause bloating or stomach pain, bad moods. You know, I love learning about nutrition. I love learning about how foods affect us, and I really think it's interesting to learn about how foods affect kids too and their moods. I think it's interesting to see, I'm kind of going off here, but I think it's interesting to see like how they act differently after they eat different foods. You know, some days worse than others. But anyway, so I've done a couple of different elimination diets. Probably about 6 or 7 months ago, I started with the Ultimate Reset, which basically transitioned me to like a vegan diet. And I think it's really important to focus on the foods that you do get to eat when you're doing these kind of plans, because yes, it's eliminating certain things and seeing how they affect you. But I think to get through them, a lot of times we really need to focus on what we are eating so that we're not feeling deprived, if that makes sense. So on the Ultimate Reset, I had a lot of fruits and vegetables, grains, legumes, healthy fats, and ultimately cut out meat and dairy in the end. So, and my skin cleared up a lot with that, and I had a lot of other positives to it. And one of the things that I am going to continue with from that program after I finish, so I just did Whole30, I'll get into that in just a second, and I'm doing some reintroductions. So I am going to add stuff back in after I get like a good base, I guess. But from the Ultimate Reset, it had different supplements, and like there was something called Optimize, which helped with nutrient absorption, and then there was another thing that was like Power Greens basically, and this is another version of it. I don't know if you can see that. Shakeology Boost Power Greens. So this is basically the same thing, and it's, helps you get in all of those good greens that help your skin. I think that it was really helpful for me. It says, a healthy diet with plenty of greens may help support the body's optimal acid and alkaline balance. This is like eating 2/3 cup leafy greens, 1/3 cup cucumber, and 1/3 large celery stalk. And, there's no artificial colors, flavors, sweeteners, preservatives, or anything like that. And I'm not getting on here to sell you anything, but I can you see that? I can help you get this if you're interested in trying it. But for me, I just feel like it was an easy way to get in extra greens. I don't so much have a problem lately getting in vegetables, because it's most of what I eat now. But I do think for people that maybe don't like vegetables or just have trouble getting that in every day, this is like a really good way to do that. You can, for me, I just did it in water when I did the program, but you can like mix it into other things like a smoothie or shake or whatever the case, just to get you that extra serving of vegetables. So anyway, after I did the reset, I did not add meat or dairy back in. So I don't know specifically that that was an issue for me, because I didn't put it back in to see how it affected me afterwards. But I do know that on the program I did clear up a lot, so I didn't feel the need to add them back in. And I was actually surprised that I could go without like chicken and yogurt. I think I might eventually add Greek yogurt back in. Excuse me. But I was surprised that I've been, 6 or 7 months almost pretty much vegan until I did the Whole30. So that was the other one. It starts with Food Book. The people that wrote this have the Whole30 program, which is basically focusing again on whole foods, fruits, vegetables, mostly vegetables. Whole30 does have meat on it, which I did not add meat back in, but I did add eggs and fish back in. So it also, I think the big thing with it is it cut out grains and legumes like beans and stuff like that. So I am a little bit worried because I cut out, oats, which I really love oats. I've pretty much had them probably like every day, I guess, before doing Whole30. And I've been doing the reintroductions. So how many days was it? I want to say like last week I tried legumes, so I put it back in black beans, and I think I had a little bit of soy liquid aminos, and the beans did okay. If you guys jump on, say hey, I'm talking about different food that has helped me clear up my skin, specifically eliminating different foods and then putting them back in to see how things have affected me. Learning a lot. I've been learning a lot about like inflammation and sort of the science behind things, and yeah, I don't know. So right now I did beans, then I waited a few days back on strict Whole30, and then I added oats back in, gluten-free oats, so specifically gluten-free oats. I really love oats, so I did not do just the one day and then wait 3 days, but I actually had like a few servings of it over a few days, so I'm waiting to go to the next thing. And I don't know if you can see it, but like I'm actually starting to break out a little bit again on my chin, so I'm really kind of sad because I think that oats might be a trigger, even the gluten-free oats. So I know in the book and on my blog post I'll post a little bit more of the like sciencey explanations. I don't want to like say it all wrong, so I'm not going to try to go into too much of it, but basically there's some kind of like other protein, I think that's what it is, I don't have it written down, but there's something else that can cause that inflammation and cause issues. So I have a feeling that oats, even gluten-free oats, might be a trigger for me, in which case I will not have it every day for sure, because I really do feel a lot better with clear skin and I want to do everything that I can for that. So as bummed as I'm going to be to have to give up my oats, I'll have to figure something out there. I may just have it like every once in a while. I don't know. The way that you reintroduce things on this program too, you do it usually by category, but you can like break it up more. So since I think I'm having a problem with oats, I want to see if quinoa is an issue. So I'm going to wait a couple of more days before adding that back in, just to kind of get back to hopefully a base again. And then I'm going to try quinoa and see if that is a trigger. And if it is not, then that will be great, because I can definitely use that like kind of in place of oats, and I will be perfectly happy with it. So, hopefully that makes sense. And then basically I'll just keep going down the line to add things back in that I need to, or that I want to. I'm still probably not going to add back meat just because I've been doing okay without it, besides eggs. And like I said, I think I'm going to try to add Greek yogurt in and see if that's okay at some point. But if not, I'll be okay. The other thing I want to talk about regarding food is to think about the source of different things. Like I was just saying, I have eggs back in my diet, and I haven't done this, but I do want to switch to like the free range eggs. Definitely check out some of the documentaries on Netflix if you haven't. There's a lot of good ones on there, like Food Inc. I think is one, Forks Over Knives. They're just really interesting to see like how we get to where we are with that food. I don't know. So, and like with the source, I think it's interesting too because I've been drinking coffee. I've gone back and forth on giving it up, but lately I've been drinking plenty of coffee. I don't think that's an issue for me. However, while I was doing the Whole30, we did just happen to pick up a different coffee at the store. And my husband actually pointed it out to me because I was like, oh man, I'm like breaking out again. I don't know. Everything was going good. I'm not sure what happened. And he was like, we switched coffees. Like, could that be what it was? So we switched back and it cleared up again. So definitely think about the source of where you're getting things or what kind of things, because even if a food seems to not affect you and then you switch, you know what I mean? I hope that makes sense. But so different kinds. I guess that's it. What else? I think that's it. I could honestly talk about food forever because I love food. And again, I'm not trying to be like a food snob. I feel like what works for me is going to be different than what works for you. And I think we're all different and react differently to different foods. I know there's different like sensitivity tests that you can do. I have a friend that did, I don't remember what it's called, but it's like a different kind of test to see if she had allergies to any specific foods and stuff like that. Someday, maybe I'll try one of those too to get a little bit more specific. I guess that's it. Are there any questions on any of that? Wait. Say hey if you just jumped on. I'm rambling about my food, how much I love food. How sad I'll be to have to give up oats. I think that's it. So, like I said, I'm not on here to try to sell you anything or to tell you what specific kind of food works for you, but I think that it's good to kind of experiment with yourself and see how different things affect you. If you want help or support doing either of those elimination diets, like the Ultimate Reset or Whole30, send me a message or comment. Let me know. I definitely love to help people with food. I'll come eat with you. So, I guess that's it for today. I feel like I'm forgetting something because there's so much about food. But anyway, I'm going to come back probably tomorrow to talk about the products that I use on my face and what kind of routine I'm doing now. So I hope that has been helpful. If you think this could help somebody else, feel free to share it. Okay, spread the word. Again, not trying to be a food snob, but experiment and see what works for you. I think that's the main point. And have patience. You have to have patience with it, because if you just throw everything back in there at once, like if I had reintroduced everything at once, I would have no idea what was making me break out again. So it's definitely good to have patience and hope. And yeah. Alright, well thank you. Alright, well I'll talk to you guys later. I hope you guys have a great Friday, a great weekend, a great Mother's Day. Enjoy. Hopefully the weather's nice all weekend. Bye.